And this is where MAGA comes to talk. And man, oh man, does MAGA have a lot to talk about. We're going to cover a lot. And of course, The Brian Craig Show is on all podcast platforms. Just search for The Brian Craig Show and start binge listening, guys. Okay. President Trump, it's really amazing that, having followed the news my entire, coherent life. Before I was in broadcasting, I was following the news. And we used to have slow news days, slow news periods, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, slow news time, right? They take the day. Since President Trump has come down the escalator, there has not been any slow news days. There's no slow news cycles. There's no weekend off from the news. And I've even noticed that during the week, there's at least 2 news cycles a day, as opposed to just one. There's at least 2 news cycles a day, sometimes 3. And what happened, you got your first news cycle, which is when you wake up in the morning and everything that broke overnight. And then every day like clockwork, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, Trump does something else or says something else or gives an order or does this or, and then there's another news cycle. But sometimes you got your morning news cycle. Then President Trump will have some event, 11, 12 o'clock, maybe even, and then he'll take some questions and then boom, everyone's talking about what happened. Then 3, 4 o'clock, the next thing happens. We've never seen anything like this before. And it's a lot of fun. And, one of the things, he's moving very fast and doing a lot. And he's doing so much that the fake news media, the Never-Trumpers, and they can't keep up with him. They don't have enough time to focus in on any particular thing and try to, what they used to do, the fake news media, is they did this with all Republicans, but especially Trump. Something would happen, Trump would say, do something, or they'd create some fabricated story. And the president, would do whatever. And then the media would have like 3, 4, 5 days of all their Never-Trumpers spin on a particular story. But the news cycle with President Trump is moving so fast, and the fake news media are so stupid that they can't get anything going. They can't even keep up with it. They can hardly report the news. It's a beautiful thing. So President Trump yesterday, he commuted the sentence of George Santos, and then he wrote a nice message, and then he said, "Have a great life" at the end. And George Santos, you guys, do you know why he went to prison? He did 2 things that landed him in prison. And he was expelled from Congress, that's only happened like a couple times, right? Do you know what he did? Think about it for a second. I'm not going to troll for calls on this. I'm going to tell you what he did. But why? Here's the question. Why did George Santos go to prison? He did 2 things that landed him in the slammer. You know what they are? 1, he flipped a Democrat seat to Republican in New York. That was his first crime. And his second crime, which he was kind of committing before, but, became more of a deal after, is that he's gays for Trump. He's gay MAGA. Those are his true crimes, and that's why they put him in prison. And, and I know some people will bring up these things that he said or things that he did and all this stuff. That's jaywalking compared to what these people are doing in Congress. Look, how's Nancy Pelosi worth $250 million? How is Chuck Schumer, who worked his entire life for the government, worth over $80 million? Okay, so come on. Ilhan Omar's got some immigration issues that are always referenced. They all got problems. Was AOC really a bartender? They have all got problems. And how is she a millionaire? Bernie Sanders, how's he a multimillionaire? What happened? So I don't want to hear any of that other stuff. He flipped the Democrat seat to Republican, and he's gay MAGA, gays for Trump. That's it. That's why they did it. And really what they did to George Santos is what they wanted to do to all of MAGA if President Trump had not been reelected. I want you guys to think about this. If President Trump had not been reelected and was not in the White House right now, do you know what this country would be like? Do you know what would be going on right now? Donald Trump would be in prison in New York. That judge in that fake Stormy Daniels case with the daughter that raised the $100 million and all that stuff for the Democrats, he would have sent President Trump to prison. President Trump would be in prison right now. And MAGA would be, like President Trump has labeled officially, Trinde is a terrorist organization. MS-13 is a terrorist organization. The drug cartels are terrorist organizations. The Democrats, whether it was Biden or Kamala, would have labeled MAGA a domestic terror organization and outlawed it and started putting people in prison just for being MAGA. Okay, the hat I'm wearing right now, Trump 2028, would be illegal to wear. That's where we were heading. All right, that's where we were going. And George Santos was a political prisoner. I hope he runs for Congress again. I really do. Would you vote for George Santos? I would. I like George Santos. He's got great qualities. He's a likable guy, isn't he? If you're just tuning in, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, which is the audio podcast. The audio version of the podcast is available on every podcast platform in existence. So just go to the whatever place you get your podcast, search for the Brian Craig Show. I'll come right up. If you want to catch the show live in video form, go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show. I'm on YouTube and YouTube Music, and subscribe. And that's where the show is live, and you can call in. If you're watching live and you want to call in, the number is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. So George Santos is free. This is in Breitbart. Donald Trump announced he had commuted the sentence of former New York Rev. George Santos, who's been in prison since July, serving an 87-month sentence. Are you freaking kidding me? An 87-month sentence? Give me a break. I mentioned this name on the morning show yesterday. Barney Frank. You guys remember Barney Frank? Barney Frank was a Democrat member of the House of Representatives from Massachusetts. He, like George Santos, he was openly gay. His boyfriend got busted. His boyfriend was running a male escort service, a gay one, okay? Not escorts even for women. And this was back in the 90s. His boyfriend was running a gay male prostitution business out of his house that the congressman lived in, Barney Frank. Did he get, he was asked about it by a reporter. I didn't know. I wonder why all these guys were coming in and out of the house. And I remember coming in and out of the house. So his house was actually the brothel where they were having the sex, right? He was living in a gay brothel, and it was his own house that he owned. He didn't go to jail. He didn't get expelled from Congress. Well, he's a Democrat. Democrats are like James Bond. They have immunity. They have immunity from pretty much everything. Here's the Gateway pundit. President Trump commutes sentence of former GOP rep George Santos. And Marjorie Taylor Greene thanked the president for doing this. And by the way, it's not a pardon. He commuted the sentence. It's not a pardon. So it's a little different. He still has the conviction. And, he's a convicted felon, so he can't own a gun. So he's got all these things. If you're on hold, stand by. Got a couple things I want to cover, then we'll take some calls. Oh, listen to this. They don't want you to hear this. Listen.
One thing is for sure. Two things is for certain. President Trump has done more for black people than any other president. I don't care what nobody say. What president do you know will go out their way to make sure that black people feel safe in their neighborhoods? I'll wait. Everything that President Trump is doing is something that we expected President Barack Obama to do. Yep. But Barack Obama didn't do that.
That's right.
President Trump is doing the shaking here in America. Something that we expected a black president to do. Folks are feeling safe in their neighborhoods, man. Safe. And it it really does concern me. The amount of black people who are upset for giving credit where credit is due. Y'all upset because this man made a decision to clean up the streets. When the ones who are complaining about it, they didn't do nothing about it. I didn't see y'all going to your local governments and yelling and screaming and hollering at the government officials while crime was going on. I'm even guilty of it. I didn't scream and shout neither. So who are we to get upset for people feeling safe in their neighborhoods? Everyone deserves to feel safe.
With the green behind me, if you go to my main stream on YouTube, you can see and hear all the audio. The link's in the description of that video. It'll take you right there on YouTube. See, this is what's really going on here. President Trump, Portland's the exception, but these other cities, where is it he's at? Is it Memphis that he sent in the National Guard? These are majority minority cities where people, they're in some instances, longer than any of us have been alive, these have been very high crime areas. And you're seeing more people like her each and every day that are telling you that the crime is low, they feel safe, their kids can go out and be safe, and a lot of people don't even know what it's like to live in a city, in a town, in a neighborhood that doesn't have all this crime in it. All right, let's take some calls. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's Dr. Nine from California.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, this is what I want. I want Nancy Pelosi to actually be prosecuted for manslaughter �2. Because didn't an individual by the name of Ashley Babbitt end up losing her life because there wasn't security guards? I mean, the National Guard there that Nancy Pelosi refused. And
well, you can want that all you want, but that's on the list of things that'll never happen. But so I mean, I would focus my energies on the things that are going to happen, like these indictments that we have that have come in.
Oh, totally.
But I mean, if see, here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with with your thoughts on Ashley Babbitt, but when we get these wins, right, with like these indictments that have come, there's more indictments coming. Why focus on ones that you know are never going to happen instead of getting behind the ones that are happening and get the prosecution? Why spend your energy on something that you personally know is never going to happen?
It's never going to happen, but in all actuality, it should, because her decisions ended up, basically indirectly end up causing somebody to lose their life.
Yeah.
But I want more. I definitely want more indictments along the lines of I want the FBI guy. I want him in there. I want basically everybody.
Yeah.
Well, no, not Comey. The one that ended up coming in after him.
Christopher Wray. Christopher Wray. Oh yeah. Christopher Wray is Christopher Wray's on the grand jury list. There's definitely I would be surprised if he did not get indicted. Yeah, no, he's definitely on the list.
I want Mayorkas in there too. I want them all in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I would, because every win that we end up getting is definitely. I mean, from what they ended up having this President Trump go through.
Oh.
I mean, you have to prosecute. I mean, Hillary Clinton should be there too. I mean, you have to, because this has to stop.
See, here's the thing, and you and some people listening may misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay, when you've got to focus in on to accomplish things, you got to focus in on. And so we've got some great indictments that have already happened. More are coming. They've told us, right? More are coming, and Christopher Wray's most certainly one of them. when you go to these impossible things that are never going to happen, like Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi, you just dilute and take the focus away from where we need it, where things are really going to happen.
Well, whichever one's come
like Jack
about,
Smith.
I'm
Jack
more than
Smith,
happy with.
Jack Smith is another one who.
Yeah, totally.
Now Jack
He
Smith,
needs to be part of it too.
he is probably going to get indicted. Jack Smith, he's probably going to get indicted. With the break-in of Mar-a-Lago and the things he did. Yeah. So why focus on the ones that you know are not going to happen, and take away from the victories?
There's no taking away from these victories. This is a step-by-step process. But these individuals who are being, indicted, we're definitely giving marching orders from somebody else.
Yeah.
We may not get those individuals. I mean, we might wish to get those individuals. I mean, who knows? This man is able to do things that nobody has ever seen before.
That's the truth.
Completed, done, successful. So who knows actually what might actually occur?
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is that this type of activity that ended up occurring at the hands of these people.
Well, let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you. Comey was the leader of all of this, not Obama. Okay, it was Comey. Obama said everything in with his fake, with his illegal orders in those last weeks of presidency, and when President Trump was president-elect, but he hasn't been running the day-to-day operations. Comey has been running the day-to-day operations on the lawfare and harassment of President Trump since he came down the escalator. It started with the fake dossier. John McCain gave it to Comey. The wiretap on Trump Tower, that was Comey. Everything was Comey, right? He was the leader. And if I could only get one person indicted and go to prison for the lawfare, it would be Comey. It really, and what's happening with and Letitia James, big lawfare, she's up on this mortgage fraud. This is let me tell you, this is so historic, right? I mean, President Trump survived the lawfare. He has survived getting shot and another assassination attempt. He's back in the White House, and people are going to prison. And you got to be, and I take a lot of satisfaction in that every day.
You're not going to hear me not be extremely satisfied for that. I just, with that being said, this type of activity cannot be allowed to continue because, as history has dictated, once they end up being able to get, to be able to do something like this, they to do it again, is just so disheartening.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, hey, listen. Well, I appreciate the call. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm just telling you is, you shouldn't be frustrated. You should be savoring what's happening and enjoying it more. Is what I'm telling you.
I completely am. It's just I wish Nancy ends up seeing the full extent of the law.
Let me tell you something. Nancy.
If it doesn't happen,
doesn't
happen.
I want you to think about this. Nancy Pelosi's not going to go to jail, but she's living in a prison with her husband. Her and her husband. She's he has these weird adventures. The guy at the door, the car accident in the convertible Porsche. When Nancy's out of town in Washington and he's alone in California, their marriage is a wreck. They hate each other. He's been up to some weird stuff when she's out of town. She knows all about it. She's humiliated. She's miserable. So far as Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are have gotten a life sentence of being forced to live together in Chappaqua. You think they're you laugh, but do you think they're happy or do you think they're miserable? He's got to wake up with her and her ankles in the morning. You think they're happy or miserable? Exactly.
The two sets are just completely miserable.
Yeah, they're both of them are miserable. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. All right. Take care. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
I would say go ahead and run for office, George Santos. In fact,
absolutely.
Elise Stefanik is running for governor right now of New York City. Go ahead and move to her district, run for her office, and there you go. Get him. We need as many Trump.
I don't know. George Santos could come down here to Florida and run in Florida. I bet you he's so popular here in Florida. I'd vote for him.
Sure.
I'd vote for him.
You know, sure, and that's the thing. But again, here's the deal. If he was a Democrat, he would have gotten away with what he did. You know.
Well, he never would have been. He never would have been in trouble.
No, and that's the thing. You look at all these MAGA people that should be in office but aren't in office anymore, and your guy from Northern Florida, George Santos, and Madison Cawthorn.
Madison Cawthorn's running for Congress again in Florida. I don't. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You know what got him is he didn't. What got Madison Cawthorn out of Congress is he basically said the quiet part out loud and exposed something that he probably shouldn't have exposed.
Yeah.
That's
exactly right. Hey, Mike, I appreciate the call. Yeah, if you're watching live, you're welcome to call in. The number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We're going to take our first break and be right back.
From the slopes of Mount Kenya to the land of opportunity in America, one woman carries her father's voice across continents and through generations in the powerful new memoir from author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi, Echo of My Father's Voice, a journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America, available on Amazon. In this must-read book, the author uncovers hidden truths of ancestry, faith, and resilience, stories passed down through whispers, traditions, and a father's unwavering testimony. Echo of My Father's Voice is a story of identity reclaimed, of a daughter honoring her heritage, and of confronting the harsh realities of a world that too often seeks to silence those who refuse to forget where they came from. This memoir is also a journey of discovery, healing, and courage. This book also makes a great addition to your book club. Don't wait. Order your copy right now. Echo of My Father's Voice, a journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America. From author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi, on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Have you dreamed of exploring Australia? Not as a tourist, but as a true local. Australia Your Way 2025 from author and lifelong traveler Katrina Amirovich. Available on Amazon, takes you on a 6-week journey along the east coast of Australia. From the rugged beauty of the Great Ocean Road to the tropical wonders of the Great Barrier Reef. Australia Your Way 2025 was written from real lived experiences. This isn't a guidebook, it's a personal adventure, one filled with insider tips, hidden gems, and even the author's unforgettable wedding in Sydney. When you read Australia Your Way 2025, you'll find adaptable itineraries, smart budget hacks, as well as confidence-boosting safety tips for solo and female travelers. There's also local secrets beyond the tourist traps, with QR codes linking you to maps, apps, and planning tools to make your trip seamless. Whether you're road tripping, backpacking, or chasing waterfalls in Queensland, Australia Your Way 2025 shows you the Australia only locals know and love. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. From author Vera Hollow comes a book that's a light for anyone who's ever felt alone in their struggle. A reminder that even in our hardest moments, we can still find humor, strength, and maybe a little magic in Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft. Available on Amazon. Meet Maggie. She's 54, chronically ill, recently divorced, and now able to talk to squirrels. After moving into her late grandmother's cottage in Pine Hollow, Maggie's quiet life takes an impossible turn. A teacup explodes, her grandmother's ghost starts giving tea-making advice, and a 7-foot forest spirit with antlers appears in her kitchen to tell her she's the last living steward who can stop an ancient evil from escaping. But saving the world isn't easy when you can barely open a jar or walk across the room without apologizing to the furniture. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft is a magical, heartfelt, and darkly funny story about rediscovering purpose, even when your body doesn't always cooperate. Author Vera Vera Hollow wrote Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft after being diagnosed with lupus, on top of already living with other chronic illnesses. It was her way to cope, process, and find a little humor. Even on her most difficult days, she hopes that others facing similar battles can find something to relate to in this must-read book. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft from author Vera Hollow on Amazon. Imagine a world where a single plant powers new industries, new opportunities, and a cleaner tomorrow. After the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is doing just that. From textiles to building materials, health products to eco-friendly alternatives, hemp has the power to replace top products and create a more sustainable tomorrow. In the new book, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD, Taking Hemp from Seed to Sale, written by the founder of the successful online business, HempThirdEye.com, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD takes you inside the entire industry, from planting to producing high-quality hemp products ready for the marketplace. If you're ready to take part in this green revolution, start right now and order your copy of Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode, and as a bonus, the author is offering a free 30-minute consultation to talk with you about the physical and economic opportunities of hemp. Hemp is the future. Be a part of it. Order your copy right now, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name's Pat, calling from Tennessee.
Hey, Pat.
Let's get right into it. Do you disavow the young Republicans for their racist rhetoric?
I'm not sure who you're talking about or what you're talking about.
The young Republicans, come on, Brian, do more research, man.
You got the research. Yeah, there's a lot of young Republicans.
Trump for his,
excuse me, it's hard to answer. It's hard to answer when you won't stop talking. How about you take a breath? You said young Republicans. There's a lot of young Republicans. My daughter is a young Republican. When you say young Republicans, I don't know what you're talking about or who.
My name's Pat, man. How you doing?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing. Yeah, you called me.
Hey, are you there?
I'm always here. Question is, are you?
Say what?
Huh?
Okay, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing.
Oh, well, are you going to answer my question, man? With the young
yeah, okay, now that you've taken a breath.
They've been anti-Semitic.
Excuse me. This is what you got to understand, Pat. You said young Republicans. There are tens of millions of young Republicans. So you're talking about if you want to be a part of this show, you're going to have a real conversation. I'm very interested in talking with you, but if you don't have a real conversation, you will be gone. Okay? I'm trying to talk about your question. I'm trying to talk about your question here, but you won't stop talking. You said young Republicans did something. That's very vague. Mm-hmm. There are tens of millions of young Republicans in this country.
They're text messages.
So how many young Republicans are you talking about?
The whole text message thread.
No. How many young Republicans are in this text? How many young Republicans are in this texting thread? Five. Okay. I want you to think about this. All right. Now listen to Pat.
There's many more.
Pat, stop talking and listen.
Don't need to think about it.
You have 5 Republicans that you're accusing of saying some terrible things, right? 5 Republicans.
Not accusing.
All right. Thank you for your call. I can't have a conversation with a guy that has to say something after every 2 words that come out of my mouth. He said there are 5 young Republicans out of the tens of millions of young Republicans nationwide who said some things in a text message thread that he didn't like. And by the way, I don't accept that those are young Republicans, okay? I don't know who these people are. But let's say it's true. You're going to judge an entire movement and tens of millions of people have to disavow what 5 did? I could find 5 illegal aliens in the news in the last day that have killed Americans. Are we going to judge all your migrants on the actions of 5? You know, there were about 10 or 12 young reporters. Each of them had been attacked by multiple members of your party, the Democrat Party, Antifa in Portland. Are you going to disavow? Does the entire Democrat Party have to apologize for that? Why is it 5 Republicans say something, by the way, in a text thread? And again, I'm not accepting that they're Republicans. Believe me, I'm not. But just for the discussion, and you're going to judge everyone who's a Republican based on what 5 people said in a text thread? You could find 5 Democrats who have threatened the life of the president and other high-profile Democrats on any given day. Are you all going to disavow that? You guys wouldn't even disavow the shooter of Charlie Kirk. So what are they talking about here? You know, I often quote Rush Limbaugh on the program, and the late, great Rush said almost every day, the Democrats have that same old worn-out playbook that they're always going back to. Same old plays, right? And it's just, boom, it's around the circle of life. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
David.
Hey, David. I can. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
David from Chicago.
All right, David. David from Chicago. How you doing, David?
Hi. I guess what's your take on? I think every president has been guilty of this, not just Trump, but your take on how they're not pushing. You know how China took over those Spratly Islands?
No.
Where they basically manufactured, and you've never heard of that?
Oh, those islands they made in the ocean. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah. That's one thing that I kind of have a gripe with him, that he's not doing like a UN unilateral meeting where they say you can't do that.
What's your name again? Charlie from Chicago?
No, David.
David from Chicago. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. David from Chicago.
No,
please take offense at this. Please take offense. Are you out of your freaking mind? You're calling me from the city of Chicago, which people. Excuse me. I want you to think about. You got to talking about you and your priorities. Okay. You're calling me from the deadliest city in America. You've got a governor who wants to arrest federal agents for deporting terrorists from your city. You've got a mayor who wants to lead protest against federal agents protecting your city from terrorists, and you're worried about some manufactured islands out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean?
No,
your priorities. I don't care what you agree with, but your priorities are messed up. Worry about Chicago. You had Illinois just had a police officer who was an illegal migrant, who was a police officer. It is illegal it is a federal crime it is a federal crime for illegal aliens to possess a gun. They had one who was a sworn police officer. You're calling me from a city and a state that's being run by some of the worst people in the history of America, and you're concerned about. I don't know. I'm talking. No, you don't. You're calling me about some islands?
You're assuming because I live in this state that I'm a Democrat and I agree with their politics.
I'm telling you what you're calling about. I'm telling you what you're calling about doesn't have anything to do with anything that's affecting your life or mine, especially yours, when you're calling me from the murder capital of America.
We're one of. I agree. We're one of the worst cities. We have one of the dumbest mayors. And I thought Mayor Lightfoot was bad, but he's even worse. And I don't agree with them. I wouldn't vote for them because I think they're delusional.
Good for you. But for you to have any concern about these Chinese manufactured islands is just insanity. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Name's Ed, and I'm calling out of the U.S.
The U.S., that's the United States. Wow, that's a big area.
Wow, that's a broad area. You don't need to know where I'm at. So, let's cover a couple things. 22nd Amendment says Trump can't run for a third term.
Hear the arrogance in this voice? Listen to this guy. You hear this guy? I mean, the tone.
Hey,
the tone in your voice. Calm down, man.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's it. Gonna tell me to shut up? Get your own show, and you can talk all day. I would have kept him on, but you're not gonna tell me to shut up on my own show. Oh my goodness! Watch, this will be him again. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air again.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to be on the air.
No, you're not. But you're not. I'm not. No, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you until you apologize for telling me to shut the F up. You apologize for what you said, and then we'll have a conversation.
I have no reason to apologize.
Well, then I have no reason to talk to you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee. What's up, man?
I know you.
Hold on, Renee. Let me answer these lines that are coming. Yeah, Renee. Go ahead, Renee.
Why don't you listen to your callers for a change? You claim to want to hear what they have to say.
Well, I'm not here to be abused. And when someone tells me to shut the F up, yelling at me using that language, why should I give them, why should I have a conversation with them? And why should I allow them to speak to my audience?
You're not entering a conversation with anybody. You're talking over everybody and you're telling people what to think, which is really stupid. And the reason I called is you were ranting about your claim to affinity for the Zionist culture over there. And I wanted to let you know that the Bible has affirmed that you people are going to be our slaves in the near future.
Okay, well, that's nice. Oh, boy. You know, it's the weekend. It is, if you're watching live, it's Saturday morning. It's not even 10 a.m. It's 9:41 a.m. on Saturday. And Saturday and Sundays, I still get up early when it's dark outside, but those are like really relaxing, nice days. It's the weekend. And I've heard liberal after liberal, and all of them are as miserable can be. These are people that just got out of bed, and they're as miserable as that you could possibly be. Why are these liberals so miserable? I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back. I got a lot more to cover. If you're on hold, you can hang in there. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling stiff, struggling with balance, or low energy? You're not alone. How would you like to restore your strength, flexibility, and your confidence without leaving your chair? Of course you would. But how? And where do you even begin? It is possible. You just need the right help and guidance. And that's what you will find in the new book from author Andrea Wood, Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60. Available on Amazon. Author Andrea Wood is a highly respected fitness and wellness expert with over a decade of professional experience in yoga, Pilates, and holistic health. She's helped thousands of people just like you of all ages rediscover movement, vitality, and joy, especially older adults. Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 will show you how to improve your balance and posture, how to strengthen your muscles, relieve joint pain, boost energy, and even lose weight. With 50 simple chair yoga exercises, step-by-step illustrations, and exclusive video tutorials, you will gain the confidence in each and every move, safely and comfortably. This isn't about difficult poses or gym memberships. It's about living younger, stronger, and healthier, one gentle stretch at a time. Start your journey right now and order your copy of Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 from author Andrea Wood. Available right now on Amazon in paperback and Kindle.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. What Jupiter Joe Thomas does is absolutely amazing, okay? You know, annuities, I've heard about annuities my entire life, and I've heard a lot of guys that talking to microphones like I do, talking about annuities, and I never understood them until I met with Jupiter Joe Thomas. And in 5 minutes, I said to him, not only did I have a complete understanding of them, I said, why isn't everyone doing this? You know, with an annuity, your money is never at risk. The stock market could tank tomorrow, and your nest egg is still there. And you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. And another thing is, isn't that great? When you're retired, you got that extra income stream coming in. Pretty cool, huh? And, you know, the thing about annuities, there's all kinds of different types of annuities depending on your situation, your goals, what you want. And there's annuities where you get a bonus. One, you get a 10% bonus on your money before you even leave the office. That's amazing, isn't it? A 10% bonus. You've made. How long would it take you in the stock market to make 10% on your investment? If everything went perfectly, a year. If everything went perfectly. And when does that happen? But you could make 10% on your money before you even get back in your car after you meet with Jupiter Joe Thomas. There's all kinds of other annuities too. One of my favorite ones is there's this one that has an income doubler if there's a health issue. And, you've got that revenue stream coming in. So, and if you're married, this is for you or your spouse because you're both on the annuity, right? So let's just say you're getting $2,000 a month income on your annuity. You have the medical condition, that turns to $4,000 a month. Isn't that something? Give Joe Thomas a call. He offers free consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are. Now, if you're local, you can go meet him in person in his office and get a free, no-charge consultation. But if you're out of town or in another part of the United States, you can do it over the phone or through Zoom, okay? He's been in the retirement planning business for over 30 years. He is an expert. Give him a call, 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, now, this is a beautiful picture. Oh, man. Don't you love AI? Here's President Trump out in front of the White House, dressed as the king. Kind of looks like the King of England. You know, today is No King's Day. And this is No King's Day Part 2. They had a lot of people turn out for the last one, and they're trying to do it again. And there's no King's celebrations going on right now as I'm speaking all over the United States. There's even one in my town. Can you believe it? And I'm not going to them. I'm not going to give them the time of day, but they're really a little messed up about this. You know, Jimmy Kimmel had said the other night that the American Revolution was a no King's rally. King George was not elected. President Trump has been elected multiple times. In the last election, he not only won every battleground state, he won the popular vote. Right? And look at what the Democrats did. They nominated for President of the United States Kamala Harris, who didn't receive a single vote in the primaries. She didn't run in the primaries. Joe Biden did. And in the primaries, you don't have running mates. She didn't get a single vote. In fact, they disenfranchised all the Democrat primary voters and crowned her queen of the Democrats and nominated her to be president of the United States without getting a single vote. That has never happened, to my knowledge, ever in the history of the Electoral College. Certainly not in the modern era. They were trying to crown a queen, and they say a king. See, you know, here's the deal with the Democrats. The Democrats believe that democracy has failed and is broken, and we're in a dictatorship anytime they lose. That's it. There's only democracy when Democrats have won. So let them get their old blue-haired ladies and old men together and meet at their No Kings rallies, which are really senior center events, and say no more kings and down with, you know, let them get it off their chest, these fools. America is back. President Trump has brought over $18 trillion with a T in investments into the country in the last 9 months. He's ended 8 wars. He's got a major summit coming up with Putin and Zelensky to end the ninth and final war going on. There are millions of people who are alive today because of what he's done, with the ending of these wars. Some of these wars have been going on for decades. It's amazing, and it's a beautiful thing what's going on. He's ended sex trafficking and human slave trafficking through the southern border with the illegal immigration. He's taking on the drug cartels in a way that's never been done before, blowing up these drug boats right out of the water. They even blew up a drug submarine the cartels had this week. And, maybe some of these people that are unglued that I hear from are just, they're jonesing for their illegal drugs, because illegal drug prices, there must be mass inflation going on right now on fentanyl. They can't bring it through the southern border like they did, and they can't bring it through over the ocean. 10% of the United States Navy's combat forces are in and around Venezuela right now, stopping the drug boats from coming in. This is the first time since the Second World War that I know of. This is the only time, excuse me, I misspoke. This is the only time since the Second World War that the United States Navy has been involved in combat operations directly protecting the United States. They've been around the world protecting other countries, but not us, not since the Second World War. It's amazing, isn't it? And Donald Trump did that. Oh, and by the way, he paid all the service personnel. All the military personnel got paid this week. It's not in the news because they don't want to give him credit for it. All right, let's go. You're on the air. You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Mandy. I'm calling from Ohio.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so you've been popping up in my feed off and on for like 2 months. And I've been wanting to call in, but I don't know, I get nervous about that stuff. I thought, why not? I was wondering if you would have a legitimate discussion with me about Israel and today's youth and just how that tide has totally turned in comparison to your generation.
I don't know what you mean by that, but you can ask. And legitimate, all my conversations are legitimate. So I don't even know what that means. But I mean, what are you pro Hamas or something? I don't know. Share your thoughts.
Well, with a lot of conservatives, especially like pro-Israel conservatives, they tend to hang up when it comes to like certain hard questions about Israel.
Ask your hardest question. Pick your hardest question about Israel with your giggles. Give me the hardest question.
Well, really what I would like to talk about
No. You say that you ask questions that get you hung up on. So let me hear that question that others would hang up on you. I was asking. Oh my goodness.
Well, it seems that a lot of our politicians seem to be bought and paid for by AIPAC.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a problem?
No.
Registered as a foreign lobby.
No. Listen. No. To answer your question, can you tell me why Israel exists today as a nation?
Well, because they took over the land in 1948.
No. Do you really think that? When was the Jewish invasion?
Well, I know that.
No, you don't know.
I know that they have. They were
established
in 1948.
What did you say your name was? Ava Braun? I missed it. What's your name? What's your name? I'm serious.
And that's the thing. You won't have a legitimate conversation without doing that.
No, I missed your name. What was your name? Was it Ava? I forgot. No, when was the Jewish...
Nancy, I'm asking you legitimate questions.
And I answered it. Now, you said that the Israelis invaded the Middle East and took over that land and declared it their country. I missed that in my history.
1948, yes. Even in Bibles, before Bibles.
Even in Bibles. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Can you tell me about this Jewish army?
And if you're a Christian,
can you tell me? Excuse me, I'm asking you a question. We're having a legitimate conversation. What happened?
Unconditional allegiance
Excuse me.
To Israel.
In 1948, tell me who led this Jewish army invasion. I missed this. 1948.
Well, unfortunately, the United States, we were forced into doing this. We've been forced into funding their wars.
Their wars. No. We're talking about
You
have. So
I mean,
you
why
believe
does the IDF sit on rooftops and use
You
Palestinians
believe
had like their children.
You believe
They use their heads and their genitals at targets.
Slow down.
It's horrific.
The reason you get hung up on is because you don't stop talking. You're rude. Okay? Israel was established.
Ava Braun.
I missed your name. Israel was established in 1948. It was not established by a Jewish invasion. There was no Jewish army or invasion. There were very few Jews left, and many of them weren't feeling too well, having just survived the starvation and abuse from the Holocaust. And they didn't establish the country. Israel
Nobody
was
cares about the Holocaust anymore.
Well,
That's
maybe. Well, I think Ava Braun's a good name. I think I was right. Ava Braun. I think that's an appropriate name for her. Israel was established by two big liberals. One, Harry S. Truman, and two, your liberal United Nations. Okay? And it was established because when the Nazis took power, there was nowhere for them to go. Franklin Roosevelt wouldn't let Jews escaping Europe come into the United States. Many countries in Europe, like France, turned their Jews over to the Nazis. Okay? At the end of the war, there were virtually no Jews in Poland, and certainly none in Germany. Okay? That's why it was so Israel was established in 1948 by Harry S. Truman, Democrat, and the United Nations so that Jews would have a place to go in case the Holocaust happened again. So they got this, the Middle East is a very vast and rich area with resources, except for the part where Israel is. They got nothing other than the Holy Land. There's no oil, there's no resources. Gee, I mean, the sickness, and I'll stick by that nickname, Ava Braun. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ohio.
Hey, Ohio. What's on your mind?
Noel.
What's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes.
All right, so I'm having trouble finding the live that you're on because there's two going at the same time.
Well, if Brian Craig Show on YouTube, both live streams are there.
Yeah, there's two of them going right now.
That's correct.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about? I'd like to talk about Trump.
Well, hold on a second. Let me answer some phones. Okay, you tell me what your beef is with the greatest president of my lifetime.
I mean, do you really seriously mean that when you say the greatest president of your lifetime?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can tell you, I can give you some examples as to why I say that if you're interested.
Sure.
He overturned Roe v. Wade. Billions of people over the course of eternity will be born and have full lives because he overturned Roe v. Wade. That alone is enough to make him the greatest. That alone.
All right. So is this coming from a religious standpoint?
No, it's coming from a moral and a pro-American viewpoint.
You think it's American to not to have abortions,
right? Yeah. Abortion is, we were talking about the Holocaust of the Second World War. Abortion is the Holocaust of the unborn, or it was.
All right, I really.
What are you worried about abortion? You think some woman's going to get pregnant by you?
I'm a father.
Yeah.
So I have a son.
Oh my goodness. So he survived. He survived.
Yeah.
He wasn't aborted.
Man.
He wasn't aborted. Well, good.
Personally, please let me say something. So this is kind of what I tell my parents, because my parents are conservative Republicans and they like Trump. But what I tell them is that me personally, would I get into a relationship with a woman and ever have an abortion? No, me personally. But am I going to tell the pregnant lady that lives across the street, whatever you do, I'm saying you can't have an abortion? I mean, do we need to get into other people's lives?
So you believe that? So you're saying that it's a woman's body and it's up to her to decide what she does with her body?
No, I think it's the family's choice.
It's the family's choice. Well, what about if a woman across the street wants to shoot up heroin and smoke crack?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Oh, okay. That's great. What if she decides she wants to start charging men to come over throughout the day and have sex with her and work as a prostitute across the street? Is that okay?
It's not, if it doesn't affect me.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
So that, see, I want you now just stop right there. I don't need any wandering, try to intellectualize the stupid things you just said. You know, think about this. Think about what you just said. For you to seem consistent in your viewpoint on abortion, you've had to tell me that heroin, IV drug use, and smoking crack, and at the same time, prostituting yourself out to men with the woman across. You have to say that's okay to be consistent with your abortion position. What does that say about your position?
Okay.
Well, who are you to tell a woman she can't smoke? Who are you to tell a woman she can't shoot up heroin? How dare you tell a woman what to do?
It doesn't affect me personally.
Well, how dare it is affecting you? Listen, the birth rate of the yes, Bobby Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy Jr., a great man, who's
oh my God, he's a moron.
After what he's been through,
his wife is a good actress.
After what he's been through, his father was assassinated on television when he was a teenager. When he was a young man, his father's life was taken on television. He's a great man, Bobby Kennedy, and he's overcome amazing. He's an orphan. And here's the thing. Excuse me. I'm speaking.
You guys made fun of it.
You know, Bobby Kennedy, you said abortion doesn't affect you. And I'm here to tell you it does. Bobby Kennedy, can you shut up for a sec? Excuse me. See, this is the problem with text messaging and DMs. People don't know how to talk on the phone anymore. When you talk on the phone, you take turns, okay? You take turns. Bobby Kennedy pointed out the other day, they had this press conference in the Oval Office about IVF, right? The test tube baby stuff. And Bobby Kennedy talked about the birth rate. He said when his uncle was president. You know who his uncle was, right?
Yes.
President John F. Kennedy, another great American.
Yes.
Okay. He said when his uncle was president, the birth rate was about 3.5%. He said today it's 1.7%. He said for a nation to maintain its population, you have to have a minimum birth rate of 2.3%. This is Bobby Kennedy talking. The birth rate and the death rate are about the same in this country. Abortion is a national security risk. We're not having enough babies to maintain the population of our great country. So abortion does affect you. And if the woman across the street was shooting up heroin, it would affect you too.
Are you saying banning abortion in all cases?
Roe v. Wade had nothing to do with abortion in all cases. There's still abortion, unfortunately. I'm pro-life all the way. I'm even against the death penalty, okay? I'm very pro-life. I'm Catholic.
I'm against the death penalty as well.
But you know what? Why are you against executing serial killers and rapists and murderers, but an innocent little baby in the womb? It's up to the woman to execute.
It depends on how long.
It depends on
how far it goes, and it depends on the situation.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Donald Trump is a great man and a great president, and we're blessed and lucky to have him.
Can I tell you why I don't think he is?
Okay.
Please.
Sure.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys care a lot about family values and things, and I appreciate that. Like I said, my family, my parents, they're all Republicans. But I don't think Donald Trump holds any of the standards or morals or ethics that you guys want. I mean, the E. Jean Carroll case, I mean...
Made up. She made the whole thing up. You know that. Come on. Do you know in that court case, do you know what year that happened? What year, her accusation, what year was that?
I think 2010, right?
Nope. What decade was it?
Well, it happened in the 90s.
Nope. Do you know that when she went to court, she couldn't give a year or a decade as to when it happened?
Yeah, but in the transcript it says that all Trump had to do was give his DNA, and he would have been exonerated.
No, that's not true.
To do that.
That's not true. She wouldn't give a year or even a decade, and when you're accusing somebody of something like that, the reason she didn't is because he's very famous. His travels are very well known. He wasn't able to say I was here or there and show some TV interview or something, or a boxing match where he was in the audience. Yeah, I've never heard of an accusation like that. No, he didn't. But you hated Trump before that. You weren't some big MAGA guy, and then E. Jean Carroll came out with this Law and Order SVU storyline, and then he's like, now I don't like him.
I just don't like. No, I just.
Why do you really not like him? Why did you not like him before that? Don't try to take some moral high horse like, and E.G. Carroll. You never liked him.
It was how he treated his brother before his brother died.
How did he treat his brother? How did he treat his brother?
And his family.
You know, his brother and family. You know, his older brother. Okay, President Trump has he has never even had alcohol touch his lips. Not once, not even wine, because of his brother.
I believe that, but when his brother came to him for help, he wasn't there, and many people
really tell
wrote
me about that. Oh, many people wrote about that. Who? Mary Trump?
I mean,
you got some credible people. You get, Mary Trump, E. Jean Carroll. You just don't like.
What about him lying about tariffs and how well the country's
because of tariffs? We have $18 trillion in new investments in the country because of tariffs. Companies and manufacturers are moving back to the United States or coming here for the first time to build automobiles, to have pharmaceutical plants.
It's not happening.
It is happening. Watch the news. President Trump had a press conference the other day.
Google.
No, I don't need to Google. I watch the business people. He's had car manufacturers. He's had press. Excuse me. No, I'm not going to YouTube and I'm not going to Google. I see these men. The other day, he had a guy from the #1 largest pharmaceutical company in the United Kingdom come into the Oval Office and announce that they're building multiple pharmaceutical plants in the state of Virginia. That's in the United States. I've seen him with CEOs of auto manufacturers. The company that manufactures Jeeps and Alfa Romeo and many others are building factories in the United States now so they can not have to pay tariffs on their vehicles.
Hyundai opened a plant and they literally deported 450
Well, they had illegals there. They had undocumented people working there. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. If you don't like Trump, tell me the real reason. Don't hide behind all these fake things. I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. We've had listeners travel from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton because his laser away pain treatment with his robotic laser, it works. It just works. You guys heard me for years. He's rid me of pain 7 times. I've met so many listeners over the years that I've been with Dr. Appleton that are also living a pain-free life without surgery, without drugs, without downtime. The robotic laser treatment is not only 100% painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. And what the laser does, it repairs the damage in your body that's causing the pain. He's rid me of pain from injuries, arthritis, everything. I mean, it's amazing. 7 times, 7 different injuries. Now, 3 of those injuries have been on my shoulders. I've injured my shoulders 3 times. But the arthritis, gone. The arthritis was the one that I was most worried about because arthritis pain, I can't even describe. It's like having a lightning bolt in your fingers. I had it in my finger. It's like having a lightning bolt. It's so bad, I just wanted to go to sleep. I was almost in tears. He treated me, the arthritis gone, and it hasn't returned. And that's been at least a year, if not 2. If you have surgery scheduled, before you have the surgery, go see Dr. Appleton and talk to him. Okay? What do you got to lose? The consultation is free. It's a no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. He'll tell you about the robotic laser, and he'll tell you what it can do for you. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Even on Saturdays, give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hello. This is Christopher from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hey, Christopher, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to call in. I love your show, and, I voted Obama twice. I voted for Hillary. I even voted for Joe Biden the time that he got in.
Oh, my goodness.
And I regret it so much. I mean, I used to consider myself a centrist libertarian, but apparently now I am the extreme right, apparently, just for having like logical, rational, evidence-based ideas and thoughts, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I do think, I never thought I would say this, because I genuinely had TDS the first time Trump was in. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like anything he did. I hated when he succeeded. But at the same time, by his fourth year, I was like, my life is better. He's helping me.
Yeah.
Things are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just wanted to say that I do believe he is the most effective president that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, the things he's accomplishing, actually doing things, stopping wars, I mean, blowing up drug boats, you know, not taking crap from Venezuela, everything else. I don't see how anyone can look at this and not understand that America is back.
Mm-hmm.
And your words and calling us racist and calling us all these names, we don't care. You've attacked us. You're violent. You are mentally unwell and divergent from reality. And we're just not going to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And,
the great J.D. Vance, the vice president, he filled in for Charlie Kirk on the first Charlie Kirk show after the never Trumper, the Democrat, assassinated Charlie Kirk. And J.D. Vance, he said, there's no unity with these people on the left. There isn't. I'm not trying to convince these people or win them over. They're most of them are sick. You hear them call me. Out of all the liberals that call me, what percentage of them sound sick and twisted and demented? I mean, I would say 98% of them.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say 95. Yeah. 100,
yeah, 95's good. I'd say 95%. That's fine. I'll take that. 95, 98, you know, yeah. I mean, you know, like this last guy, to tell me that, well, you know, why don't you like Trump? Well, E. Jean Carroll. No, you didn't like him before. You know, come on.
Right.
Come on. Don't grab onto these things to justify your... To be against Trump is to be against America. He is the most pro-American president this country has had since the colonial era.
It's the biggest landslide victory in history. I mean, you know, he got everything. The Electoral College, the popular vote, all the swing states, and they still just can't live with it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
If I may continue, did you see the unedited Kamala Harris ABC interview that they released?
No, you know, I know stuff keeps popping up with Kamala, you know, but I don't really pay much attention. I don't. Since when do you pay attention to has-been vice presidents? Right? It's like, do I pay attention to Pence? You know, nah. I hear about them from time to time, but you know, sometimes I'll watch it just because she's, you know, she's drunk for a little humor.
Oh yeah. She slurs in everything. It's ridiculous how obvious it is. My father was a hard drinker growing up, so I know how to recognize it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to say I love America. I love your show, and I'm glad America's back. And I hate that it required the left to become so divergent from reality, to become violent, to finally catalyze the right to just say, we don't care what you're saying anymore.
After Charlie Kirk was a big turning point. That's exactly right. Hey, I appreciate the call. All right.
Oh, thank you. God bless.
All right, take care. Nice guy. I almost don't know how to talk to regular people. I talk to lunatics so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, nice. My name is Tabitha. I'm calling from down south.
All right.
I'm not hearing all the things that you're saying when I'm looking at the video. I think maybe it's because I'm on Bluetooth.
Okay. Well, listen on your phone, not online. What's on your mind?
I like Trump, actually. I've always liked him. I see, whenever I hear people say things like, he doesn't have the morals. I was just listening to the liberal that called, right before your last caller. The whole thing kills me. He doesn't have our morals. What are you saying? Are you saying that all Republicans believe that they are perfect? All Christians believe that they are perfect? The whole thing is completely absurd. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Trump is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest things is, there was a while ago when they were saying Trump grabs them by the whatever. The people, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube.
No, don't say it.
Your channel getting in trouble.
No, you can say that, but I choose not to use such language.
Indeed. But so that was the thing, right? And the other thing was that he was speaking about a woman in a locker room with other men.
Well, what he said was not what they say that he said. What he said was that, let me put in context for those that don't know. You may know, but some may not. This grab him by the
No,
thing.
I definitely do.
Okay. First of all, he was talking to Billy Bush, the nephew of President Bush, right, and Jeb, and he was out there in Hollywood doing a media tour when The Apprentice became the #1 show on network television. And he was talking about the difference in his fame since he became a TV star and he's in Hollywood. He was always famous, but it was his first time in Hollywood as a TV star. And he says when you're a big TV star, the actresses out here are so sleazy, they'll let you do anything, including grab them by the blank. He didn't say that he did it or suggested it. It was a comment on how a low moral character the actresses are out there. That's all. I mean, it's so out of context the way they say that.
Honestly, I think it goes even deeper than that, because we're not going to sit here and act like women of low character don't exist. You know what I mean? Like they 100% do. I'm sorry, dude. Like every woman that says, "Oh, he said, I can't believe he said that." Just really, are you telling me that you're not in the same breath promoting OnlyFans, promoting promiscuity in women? Like you're 100% doing this 100% of the time.
And
so
and remember, Mom Donnie,
going to react.
Mom Donnie in New York is talking about legalizing prostitution in the city, and Letitia James, her niece living in one of her mortgage fraud homes, is an OnlyFans girl who's doing the OnlyFans stuff in Letitia James's house in Virginia.
Right.
I mean, she
whiz. It's the whole thing is completely ridiculous. And also, but again, are we saying as a society that there are, as feminists, are we saying that there aren't gold diggers? Are we saying that? Are we saying we believe that there are not women who would allow one of these basketball players, one of these rappers, one of these movie stars, Trump, whoever, any millionaire or billionaire with a shit ton of money? Are you telling me that you don't believe, as a feminist, that women out there exist that absolutely would let one of them grab them by the place and it's bullshit. He's not saying I'm going to do this to every woman I come across, dude. Of course not. He's saying, there are women who would allow me to do this, and of course there are.
Yeah.
There are women all over the world that would allow him to do that. As far as the rape thing, I don't think Trump ever raped anybody. I'm sorry, dude. I don't believe Mike Tyson or Tupac did either. I believe that there are men in this world who make an extremely large amount of money, and women want them, and they are drawn to them not only because they have the money, but because they understand that they can potentially accuse them of something and get money. We know that women do this. We do. And I'm a woman. I love other women, but I'm not going to sit here and act like they are perfect and they never do anything wrong, because I 100% know that they did.
When you say you love other women, are you gay?
No, I'm not gay.
Okay, I thought you might be like gays for Trump.
No.
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
love
kidding.
women, I love myself. No, it's okay.
What they don't listen. What President Trump has done for women and young girls is amazing. When he shut down the southern border, he stopped all this sex trafficking. That women and young girls were being brought here to be forced into a life of prostitution, and those migrants on the path to America were being raped all along the way, multiple times on their way here. All that is stopped because of President Trump. This president has done more for women and girls than any other president we've ever had, and just the last few months.
Yeah. No, I agree. We all of these things, all of these people, what we really do need is common sense, and no one seems to be grasping that on the left. It's completely beyond them. Most people, everybody says MAGA won. MAGA didn't win Trump the election. MAGA didn't. MAGA, we love Trump. We think he's pretty great because of what he does and because of his policies. But the middle, the independents won Trump the race. You know what I mean? We want common sense.
What happened? Listen, he would have won without this happening, but it put him over the top. When they tried everything, right? Arresting him and trying all this stuff. And when none of that worked, they tried to kill him, and they shot him in Butler. And when they shot President Trump in Butler, so many people, many of them Democrats, it was a big turning point, and they realized they are trying to get this guy, because everybody knows who shot Trump. Same people that shot Charlie Kirk, the never Trumpers and the Democrats in the deep state. That's who shot President Trump. Okay, and everybody knows that, and they say, wow, you know. And it woke them out of their Trump derangement syndrome, and they saw the world. They were red pilled or magatized, as I like to say too. But yeah. Well, listen, you're new to my program? I don't think we've spoken before.
No, we haven't.
Well, thanks. Well, thanks for calling, and make sure you subscribe. Call again.
Awesome, will do. Thanks.
All right, very good caller. Very good caller. I want to take a moment to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. If you're in the state of Florida, you know, it's rainy season, it's hurricane season. We are in the tropics. I know somebody will tell me it's the subtropics. I know it's the subtropics. We're in the tropics. It rains every day. And if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof. And Tom Laporta covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He handles every type of structure too, residential, commercial, municipal. He even does church roofs. Works with every type of roofing material. He can also handle the job of any size, whether it's a single family home, one office building, or an HOA with over 450 units. He can handle it. And he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. Not only that, I know, isn't that something? I mean, that's that's unheard of in the roofing industry, but that's Laporta Roofing for you. They'll never sell you a roof you do not need. And he's also a contractor, which allows him under Florida law to deal directly with your insurance company for the cost of the repair or the replacement of your roof, which saves a whole lot of time. And you may find yourself in a position where you don't even need a public adjuster. Some people hire even lawyers when they got these things going on. Give Tom Laporta a call at Laporta Roofing. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text 954. And this is his real, anytime you hear me talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, you may notice if you watch on YouTube, I pick up my phone, my iPhone, and I look at the last text that he and I had with one another, and I just pull it up to get his number. 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Jeff from Canada.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Excellent. I just wanted to call up and say what a great job you're doing. I appreciate everything, every word that comes out of your mouth. I don't know how you do it with all these liberal maniacs who are never listen, don't like Donald Trump, but they're always on the phone.
Yes.
Killing the airwaves.
Yes.
You make me laugh. You make me proud. I'm a big Trump supporter up here in the Great White North.
Great, that's awesome.
And we really appreciate you up here.
Oh well, we don't hate Canada. It's frustrating because the system you have up there, you're screwed. This parliamentary system, it's like impossible. It's like the UK is fallen, and there's no way for them. Yeah, the UK's fallen, and the British people have no way to take back their country. In the parliamentary system, it's
I'll tell you, Brian, I had some bad luck a little while ago. I kept going to the doctor. Oh, our wonderful free medication, our free doctors.
Yeah.
And I end up losing my leg because I can't get in to see a doctor.
Really? What was your condition? What was your condition?
I had flesh-eating disease.
Oh my goodness! You're like Terry.
Like I said, I'm just outside of Toronto, not outside of Africa.
You're like Terry Fox now. Say, I know
Canada.
I know Canada.
Hey, Brian, you're all right with me up here, and there's a whole loft of us who love President Trump.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. I appreciate it. I
love your show.
I appreciate it.
I love you. When you called that lady Ava Braun, I almost spat my coffee across
and then you know what? She takes issue with that, and then she says nobody cares about the Holocaust. So, I mean, is it not?
I know. I couldn't believe she said that. Like, what a perfect name. Although they can call us Nazis, they can call us anything they want, but you make a funny reference and call her Ava Braun, and she is going. She's going to talk about that for the next 2 weeks.
Well, I made her feel relevant for a moment.
Yeah, Ask me your hardest question.
Yes.
Give me your hardest question.
Well,
and then she's reading from Wikipedia.
Yeah, I know. There was no question.
I could hear her underneath while you were talking to her. You could hear her.
Yeah.
She was reading and reading. Anyway, my man,
All
I
right.
love your show. I thought I'd give you a minute of freedom from somebody yelling in your ear and screaming at you.
That's right. All right. Well, it's good to hear from you,
don't need
Canada.
blood pressure medication.
Not at all. Not at all.
Hey, if you do need blood pressure medication, let me know. And that's one good thing they give us up here in Canada.
From the Canadian
all
pharmacy.
the medication you can eat.
Okay, that's good. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Steve from Staten Island.
Hey, Steve. What's up?
This to say is, it is amazing if Biden or Kamala or Hillary did what Trump has been doing, which is
What, make America great again? I can't imagine that happening.
Yeah, I know. But if they had done half of what Trump has done, the Democrats would be praising him big time. But no, here's Trump doing an unbelievable job.
No doubt.
Against the drug dealers, and fixing down what's been in the East there. We're getting peace there. I mean, and he can't believe, they're just the fact they don't have a candidate that would have done what Trump has done.
You know, right now, you're everything you said is so right on the money. You agree. If Hillary or any of them would have done any one of the things, they'd be giving them Nobel Prizes and everything else. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but Hillary and Obama both were even awarded Grammys for their books on tape that they narrated themselves. They got Grammys. I mean, they're you know, Al Gore got an Oscar. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, they you know, what did he do? What did he do?
Yeah.
But if you're a Republican, you get nothing, no matter what you do.
Exactly. But the thing is you're seeing Trump doing what we voted for the man to do.
That's right.
It is, and he's done his
and
job,
more.
And he's done it, and more. Exactly. He's done so spectacular, and the Democrats it eats them.
It does.
It is eating them in
it does.
so deeply that here a guy that they hate is, oh God, he's doing a great job. And jealous of it.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Staten Island. All right, take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care. If you'd like to support my content, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description of the episode on whatever platform you're listening on. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get some special things and something new that I only started this week because it was only available to me this week, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But if you become a Patreon supporter, not only are you supporting my channel, but you're supporting all the content I bring to you. And you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes. But there's something new. There's now on my Patreon page, there's a live streaming option, and I've already done 2 of these. I also do exclusive live streams on Patreon that only Patreon supporters have access to. And there's a chat room there, just like when I do a YouTube live. You know, like when I do the YouTube videos, like in my car or at Starbucks or something with that vertical light. It's just like that, except it's only on Patreon. And because it's on Patreon, and it's only you Patreon supporters out there, I let my hair down a little bit and talk about some things that you won't hear me talk about on the show. So it's an exclusive, more intimate conversation that I get to have with you there. So you also get access, if you're a Patreon supporter, to the live Patreon feeds that are only on that platform. Now, Patreon did an update. I got to explain this to you. It's a little strange. You can become a free Patreon member or a paid Patreon member. I don't know why they did that. If you're a free Patreon member, you don't have access to any of this stuff. You got to be a paid Patreon supporter to have access to any of these perks. It's something, this free membership thing is something that Patreon offered. So when you go there, you'll see that option. But if you're a free Patreon supporter, you don't have access to anything that I put up there. You don't even see it. The live streams, the commercial-free shows, the exclusive posts that my wife and I post up there, you don't get to see or have access to. So you got to be a paid Patreon supporter. But the Patreon live stream is new, and I really like it. You know, a lot of the Patreon supporters will tell you that, you know, we become friends because we have close connection. My wife and I, we get to talk to you directly. And I'm glad they added this live streaming directly on the Patreon platform, because I've wanted to do that for a long time, and I've tried with Zoom and things, and it was always so inconvenient. But now all Patreon supporters, you can catch that live stream. If you're a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout out on every episode of the podcast. So the names you will hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SF Jr., Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, Lizep, Shauna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening to me on, or you can go to patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.